It's Orioles baseball on Masson on a cool and overcast afternoon at Camden Yards. The Orioles and Texas Rangers getting set to play. It's a twilight doubleheader following last night's rainout. And hi, everybody. I'm Jim Hunter. Thanks for joining us. A long day ahead of us of baseball, but exciting baseball as the two teams with the top records in the American League will battle it out. Here's our schedule for today. Coming up momentarily, it's the opener of this doubleheader. 20 minutes of O's Extra following the game. Amber, Theo Harris, and Rick Dempsey will join you. And then back here for the second game. We have a big day of baseball and a couple of real good pitching matchups. And Jim Palmer, Zach Britton goes for his second Major League start. Now, he had to wait a day. Do you expect that would affect him in any way?
I asked him about that. He said, I sure hope not. And obviously, this is a very good team when you're playing against the Rangers. They did represent the American League last year in the World Series. So you have youth against really kind of a veteran, Colby Lewis. He was 3-0 in the postseason, so a much more experienced pitcher than Zach Britton. But what you like about Zach Britton, he got hit hard early on, didn't affect him, used his changeup very well. You can see right there, 6 innings, only a run, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts. Actually 3 walks and 6 strikeouts, but he adjusted very well. And I think a lot of times when you come to the big leagues, and that was his first Major League debut, and you get hit hard, you stop throwing strikes. That wasn't the case. So he's got outstanding stuff. This is one of those twilight games, as you mentioned, Jim. You'd like to have a little brighter because it would really help the pitcher. But again, I think if he throws
in home runs. We'll see how Zach Britton and that sinker ball's working to try to keep the Rangers in the ballpark. It's the O's and the Rangers, game 1 of 2. Lineups and first pitch are coming up. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Well, it's a cool afternoon here at Oriole Park today. Overcast, but it's dry. And today's game time temperature brought to you by Train. Visit Train.com for an independent Train comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a Train. 54 degrees at first pitch for the opener of this twilight doubleheader. Let's get a look at the Southwest Airlines starting lineups. First for Texas, Ian Kinsler in that leadoff spot. Big-time numbers here at Oriole Park. Elvis Andrus and Josh Hamilton with Adrian Beltre batting cleanup. Michael Young will DH. Nelson Cruz in right. Mike Napoli at first. Yorvit Torrealba will catch. And Julio Bourbon in center field bats ninth.
And let's take a look at our AFCIA scouting report brought to you this afternoon by AFCIA. Visit AFCIA.org, the Association for IT Pros. Well, he aced the first exam. This one's going to be a little bit tougher, as we all know. Intimidating lineup. Again, they have 13 home runs, 34 extra base hits in the first 6 ball games, and lost and found. Well, didn't have a sinker, still won his major league debut. Let's hope he finds it. That is his best pitch, but did quite well. But again, this is one of your more A-rated lineups when you talk about the Texas Rangers.
So Zach Britton, 23 years old. Let's get a look at the pitch grips and the differences on what he throws.
Well, there's your 4-seam fastball. That's what he had to use down in Tampa because the sinker wasn't sinking. There's a sinker. He throws a little bit different than maybe a little bit up on the ball. Slider, he had to use that. And then the big difference right there, that is a Mark Connor, the new Oriole pitching coach. And there's your changeup, worked on that, and it's almost like a split-fingered fastball. A lot of hitters muttering in spring training, was that a splitter or a changeup?
And the pitch to Ian Kinsler is low. We are underway. Kinsler, the Texas second baseman, off to a big start with the power numbers. Already with 3 home runs, and he gets into one to center field, chasing Adam Jones back, but Jones will have a play. And he's got it for the out. So 2 pitches, 1 away in the first.
Yeah, take a look at this field, which really drains well, so the rain will not be of any effect. Scott Jones, Markakis, your outfield. Reynolds is Turris. As J.J. Hardy with the oblique problem. We don't know how severe it is. He's getting the afternoon off. Roberts, Lee, and that Matt Wieters will be doing the catching in game 1 here.
So Asturias getting the start. He started the other night in the rubber game against the Tigers. Played well defensively. Also got a base hit. As Elvis Andrus pushes a bunt to first. Too hard. Derek Lee will go to the bag. And Andrus retired. So how about that start? 3 pitches, 2 outs.
Yeah, you know, it looked like Kinsler had a pretty good swing. And Andrus, who all last year did not hit a home run, hit one early on this year. So again, I think part of defensing against Elvis Andrus, you play him the other way, you play him in because he does bunt. Had 16 bunt hits last year. So again, you just take it away from him, and the Orioles do a nice job of that.
Well, 2 quick outs. Josh Hamilton takes a strike.
Well, there's your sinker, Jim. And of course, that fastball, and 96 miles per hour. So not too amped up.
Josh Hamilton, he's a test. Last year, he pounded the Oriole pitching. In fact, the last 3 games, 7 out of 14, a couple of home runs and 7 RBIs. He had 10 RBIs last year against the Birds. Bounce to the first. There's another good sinker. Britton to the bag and a 3-up, 3-down inning for the rookie. So a good start for Zach Britton. Texas doesn't score. Here come the Birds in the bottom of the first. top of the first. Here come the Orioles, bottom of the first. Southwest Airlines starting lineups for the Birds. Brian Roberts, Nick Markakis, and Derek Lee with Vladimir Guerrero in that DH spot. Look at his numbers all-time against Texas. Of course, last year he was a member of the Rangers, but .396 with 24 home runs in 102 games. Luke Scott, Adam Jones with Mark Reynolds batting 7th. Matt Wieters will catch, and Cesar Izturis in the first game playing at shortstop and batting 9th.
And this afternoon, our scouting report brought to you by AFCEA. Again, visit AFCEA.org, the Association for IT Pros. Complete pitcher. He really, he's got a great cutter. Did go 3-0 in the postseason. The only win they got in the World Series, he was out there. Rough road, has never really pitched that well on the road. 6-9 last year. Didn't get him a lot of run, and has never beaten the Orioles. But again, that's a couple of starts over 4 appearances. But again, went to Japan, much different pitcher, and he knows how to pitch. Big curveball, commands the ball very well.
Facing Brian Roberts, leading off. First ball swinging, and a good swing, but he fouled it off, and it's 0-1.
Well, that's that cut fastball that kind of just looks like it's going to be pretty straight, and then that late little veering action into the lefties, away from right-handers.
Brian Roberts, 3 for 12 on the homestand and 3 RBIs. And a high fly ball to right. Nelson Cruz in a couple of steps. He's got it. Roberts retired. And one away in the Oriole first.
Now take a look at the Rangers defense. Hamilton, who's a terrific center field, but they want to keep him healthy. He's in left. Bourbon, Cruz. Pretty mobile outfield for the Rangers. Beltry, Gold Glove winner a couple of times. Andrus could really pick it at short. Kinsler. They know him for a bat. Good defensive player. You got a catcher over at first, Napoli, and then Torrealba comes over from San Diego to do the catching this year for the Rangers.
Nick Markakis batting at 300. Check swing and appeal to third, and he went too far, says Tim Cheetah.
First game of a doubleheader. When in doubt, a strike.
And Markakis deep to right field. Will it stay fair? Down the line. It is gone! Right down the line for Markakis. There's his first home run on the year, and the Orioles grab the lead.
And that ball was smoked. Watch him try to come in. Torrealba goes in. The ball gets in. He just turns on it. Boy, just a little rotation with the core muscles, something all hitters work on. And like you said, it's just a matter of is it going to stay fair? It does. Orioles lead by 1.
So Nick's first on the year. He's now scored a run in 4 straight games, and Zach Britton has a first inning lead. There's Derek Lee, takes ball 1. And ball 2 down and away.
Well, in the old days, Jim, we used to say, there's your run. Go get them. But it is nice to have a lead, even if it's only 1-0 at this point.
Lee fouls it back. Now, the other night, there were several players getting their firsts, and Markakis, in this game today, picks up his first home run. It's only his 3rd RBI, in part because Brian Roberts, batting ahead of him in the lineup, has 8. As Derek Lee fouls it back.
Yeah, I don't think we have to worry about Nick. If you get on, everybody talked about the low RBI total last year, a little over 60, but it wasn't because of the average. Just didn't have a lot of opportunities. Came into this game 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position.
Bounce towards third, in between hop, played by Beltray. He's got a good arm and gets Lee for the second out. Now Vladimir Guerrero coming up, and Vladdy hit his first Oriole home run the other night. 437th, Jim, and he's now 3rd all-time among active players. Going into yesterday, he was 4th, but then Manny Ramirez retired, so Vladdy moved up on the list.
Oh, yeah, well, we got, 18 innings at least to talk about Manny. Won't take that long. But this guy respects the game. There's your difference. And I know a lot of people talking about Manny going to the Hall of Fame. This guy has Hall of Fame numbers. Never tested positive. All he does is come with a smile on his face and compete. He has done that. And we saw him early on in his career when they used to come to Fort Lauderdale, the Orioles train. Just could do everything back then.
And the shift in between hop to Andrews. And he'll get it across in time to get Vladdy. And the inning ends. But the Orioles get the lead. Solo home run by Markakis. We'll head to the second. 1-0 O's. Call today for the Luna Devil and get your second room of flooring free. Call 877-241-LUNA. Most doubles since 2003. Active players, Albert Pujols, 339. But how about that? Brian Roberts, second in most doubles since 2003. Abreu Ortiz and Michael Young, who's also in this game, and he'll bat this inning on that list. Well, fans turning out today. We expect this crowd will continue to increase as the day goes on because fans who held tickets for today expecting a 7:05 game, so some bonus baseball. And that fan, and what would you call that? Your bird outfit?
Yeah, good way to keep warm. Doesn't look as good as you do with your puffy coat. Remember in Seinfeld, the puffy shirt?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you have the jacket on today. Gloves. Oh, now you're. Well, you got to.
I can't write.
You can't keep score with gloves on.
No. I tried. It lasted one batter.
Concerned about you.
Yeah. And these are actually thin as well. I still couldn't do it. I tried.
That's right. Your meticulous ways.
There's Ron Washington, the skipper of the Rangers. What they did last year was win the American League pennant and get to the World Series.
Yeah, 90 wins when their MVP Hamilton missed pretty much the whole month of September. Came back for the postseason.
Ground ball that is foul, unfortunately so. Lee was off the line.
Yeah, that late movement that a lot of lefties have. I mean, McNally had it, and Cuellar had it, and Flanagan had it, and McGregor. But this kid can make the ball move, and that's that natural sinker we talked about. So there's your hitter's count. And he still hit it off the end of the bat because it looked like it was going to be a pretty good strike and just kind of ran away from Adrian Beltre.
Beltre in his first year with the Rangers, the 2-2, skied to center field. Jones is there. And Adam has it for the out. One away here in the second. The Maryland Lottery's double play contestant of the game, Carolyn Jones of Baltimore. For every double play the Orioles turn during the game today, Carolyn wins $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery. See how you can turn double plays into cash. Enter to win for a chance at amazing Orioles prizes. Just go to mdlottery.com/double play. And good luck to Carolyn. Here's Michael Young, who is now, for the most part, the DH for Texas. With Vladimir Guerrero not brought back and Adrian Beltre brought in, that forced Michael Young off third base and into the DH spot. He will play defensively sometimes, but for the most part, this will be his job, and he falls behind 0-2.
Yeah, there's that good changeup. I guess they have it as a fastball. It moved like a change. I mean, the ball just dove. And again, that wasn't the pitch that he was able to master down in Tampa.
Young is hitting 5 straight games, and Britton misses outside. A ball and 2 strikes. I'm sure you remember the day Zach Britton signed. You and I met him right here in this booth. He was a third-round pick in 2006. out of Weatherford High School in Texas, and he was brought along, Jim, exactly as you would like to see a prospect brought along, in particular a high school kid.
Well, he got his innings.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the way you learn to pitch.
2-2 to Young, a tapper right back to the mound. And a foul to first and 2 quick outs.
There's a sinker to Derek Lee.
But Britton, his first pro year, short season. His second pro year, short season. Then a full year at Delmarva. Then a full year at Frederick. And it wasn't until last year where he actually almost split the year between Bowie and AAA. So slowly getting those innings in. And here's Nelson Cruz, who will be a challenge for Britton. He is off to a red-hot start. And it's outside, 1-0.
Well, home runs in the first 4 games. And, you know, again, a guy that's hit 55 home runs the last 2 seasons. And he was hurt a couple of times last year with leg problem. Hurt. We'll take a look again. There you go. Slugging percentage. He can get better than 1,000%. How about Howie Kendrick of the Yankees? Here's another pitch with a lot of movement.
The league leaders brought to you by Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. Action-packed table games, red-hot slots await you at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races.
Well, if their advanced scouts, talking about the Rangers, saw Zach Britton in spring training, pretty much what they would have told him. Because he gave up 3 earned runs in 20 innings. This is the stuff he had in spring training. As you take a look at this ball just running off the outside corner at 94. This is...
Bounce towards the hole. Reynolds cuts in front of his toes. Shoulder throw. He got it. So Zach Britton 3 up, 3 down for a second consecutive inning. Britton off to a good start. 1-0 O's. On Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on. And by AT&T, rethink possible. Oriole Park at Camden Yards, first game of our twilight doubleheader. We thought the sun was about to peek through. In fact, I think it did peek through for about 5 minutes. A little tease, and now it's overcast again, but the Orioles have a lead, and here's Luke Scott.
Well, it came out about 8 o'clock this morning for about 30 seconds and said, I'll see you later. And it came back for a minute later on in the day. But it's not raining.
It's dry.
And yet, you're right. And there's not a lot of wind. And I think, especially if you're pitching, because, again, you come out of spring training. Texas, the weather was warm there for their 6 games. If you're Colby Lewis, you're used to having a little bit of feel. And wind can really affect that.
1-1 on Luke Scott. Got back in the lineup on Thursday. He had missed 3 games with the groin strain. Picked up his first base hit of the year the other night, a double. Fooled by that pitch, 1-2.
Well, you can see what already 3 pitches, and they got a pretty good idea what they want to do. They want to run the ball in on Luke and then really good changeup. We talked to you can see the splitter grid, so it's kind of like a splitter changeup. Watch this ball not only move down and away, but also drop.
Mike Maddox, the pitching coach. There's a liner. He hooks it in the right field for a base hit. Yeah, so there's your difference in location, right?
Well, it is. And again, Luke Scott, if you get a ball up out over the plate, whether it's anything, I mean, breaking ball, fastball, or whatever, he becomes a much more adept hitter. And you have to understand, we showed you Mike Maddox. He actually was the pitching coach at Round Rock, and then Luke Scott came through the Houston organization, and that was a AAA. So one Round Rock guy gets the other Round Rock guy. And you're right about not making a good pitch, and Luke's able to take advantage of it.
Here's Adam Jones, who picked up his first home run of the year on Thursday night in the Orioles' 5-run inning. Oh, good hack there, and he fouled it back. 2 out of 3 night, 3 RBI night. And he picks up already his second multi-hit game on the year. Both these teams have pitched well overall. The Orioles are the best team ERA-wise in the league, 2.33. There's a tapper out in front of the plate. Lewis will have to hurry, and he's safe as the ball is dropped.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was out of the base path. I don't know if they're going to call that. I would imagine Ron Washington's going to come out and argue this. There's that 45-foot line, and you have to be in it. Torey Alba's saying something right now, and he was actually on the inside, and home plate umpire Marty Foster, we saw this in the '69 World Series against the Mets, but he was definitely on the left side. In other words, the field. If we look, just take a look at Adam going down there. He's running. It's a tough angle, but you're supposed to be able to have a clear, and you could see him.
I think he was on the other side.
Well, I don't know. It just appeared that he was a little bit out, but. And, of course, catchers are saying that, and, of course, you have to give Adam a lot of credit. He smelled base hit there. And not only does he get the base hit, you get the runner, Luke Scott, all the way to third base.
And, Jim, to Marty Foster's credit, the home plate umpire, he immediately signaled safe, meaning that Jones was not out of the baseline. So immediately he let everybody know that that play was okay. So the Orioles get a break there. And good hustle by Adam Jones. And first and third and nobody out.
Of course, the Rangers are doing what they're supposed to do, which is to try to appeal that play. The umpires didn't go for it.
So here's Mark Reynolds. Fouls it back. Mark Reynolds' bat coming alive. He's going to add a lot of power in the bottom of the lineup.
Well, he is, but what he's done so far has been able to hit so well with runners in scoring position. And right here, again, first and third. Obviously, you don't get an RBI if you hit in a double play, but it's a good RBI situation because Colby Lewis should be saying, hey, I'm trailing 1-0. I want to minimize the damage. Stay away from the big inning.
Mark Jacobson scoring today has ruled that an error on Napoli, the first baseman, for dropping the ball.
Boy, tough play because anytime you have to reach into the runner and that throw tailing, that's where you see a lot of injuries to first baseman.
Lewis misses outside, 1-1 on Mark Reynolds.
But again, you do have a guy that plays, you didn't play a lot of first with the Angels. Talk about Mike Napoli. Ron Washington wants that bat in the lineup.
First and third, none down. 1-1, high fly ball, left field, it's deep. Back it goes, and there's number 1 for Reynolds. The opportune 3-run homer. And it's a 4-0 Oriole lead.
Well, Earl Weaver threw out the ball opening day, and we all know how much he liked the 3-run home run. I got to think that Buck Showalter's on the same page, not to mention Mark Reynolds. Did they try to get it in? 87. Foot gets down to something he worked on, and then this is the power that the Orioles acquired here. No doubt about it. And when it lands, it's 4-0.
Pitch Track sponsored by Papa John's. Order online at papajohns.com. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. So just like that, it's a 4-0 lead. Matt Wieters looks over a strike, 1-1 the count. That is the Orioles' now 7th home run on the year. The Orioles taking a page out of the Yankees book. The long ball driving in all 4 runs.
Yeah, Mark Teixeira's book.
Here's a bouncer towards second base. Kinsler plays the hop. And Leaders retired for the out.
Well, you better get as many as you can against Texas, or the Red Sox, or the Yankees.
The Yankees today hit 4 home runs at Fenway Park and beat the Red Sox 9-4. So a day after the Sox won their home opener for their first win, they lose again.
Well, it was 9-6 yesterday.
And 9-4 today. Yeah. Buchholz took the loss. He's now 0-2. Cesar Izturis getting another start. High fly ball to right. Chases Cruz back. He's got to play. And backing up near the warning track has it for the out. Well, fans, the Orioles will wrap up this first homestand of 2011 tomorrow. It's a 1:35 afternoon matinee against the Rangers, so be here for the first Sunday afternoon game of the season. Good seats available. So come on out and spend your Sunday with family and friends here at the Yard. For your tickets, 888-848-BIRD, or get online at Orioles.com. So Mark Reynolds hits the 3-run home run, sits down by Zach Britton on the bench. There you go, rookie. There's a nice 3-run shot for you.
Is that enough?
Brian Roberts takes ball 1.
Yeah, we traded for Lee May after, I guess, 1975 and opened in Detroit. It was like 32 degrees. I'm warming up to come into the game, and Lee hits a 3-run home run. It got a lot warmer, and I'm sure Zach Britton thinks exactly the same way. I'm not going to change anything, though. I'm going to go out and throw first pitch strikes and trust your stuff. Look at that changeup.
Roberts swings through. That's 1-2. Colby Lewis originally was drafted by the Rangers back in 1999. Jim mentioned how he's been well traveled. He has been in the Tigers organization, the Nationals, although that was just for spring training. Then he was released. Oakland, Kansas City, Texas, back with Texas, as well as that stint in Japan.
And he really got a lot of innings. I mean, he got to start in Japan both of those years, around almost 180 innings, and I think that's what he's really about. Used to throw a lot harder, still throws hard enough, but he's a command guy. Has to use his pitches and has to stay out of the middle of the plate.
Roberts to second base. Kinsler to his left, and the easy toss, and the inning is over. But the Orioles add to the lead. A single, an error, and Mark Reynolds comes up. His first home run as an Oriole, a 3-run shot, and the Birds have a 4-0 lead. Cover plenty of new food and beverage choices for 2011. The Orioles have a new relationship with Delaware North Sports Service, the club's official concessions and retail partner. Fans can enjoy all the new concession stands, including Oh What a Dog, Das Sausage House, Buy the Slice Pizza, and how about the Baltimore Chop House, and much, much more. More local flavor, Birdland favorite. How about Pull Out Johnny's Sausage? Oh, the Natty Bowl Brat, Old Bay Seafood, burger cookies, and more. So come on out and join us here at the ballpark. You will not be disappointed with all of the choices.
could put on weight just reading that promo.
I noticed you were looking at me like, where are you going with this?
Yeah, you started salivating when you saw the pizza.
You know, Italians like pizza. It happens.
And I've doubleheader. Of course, the Orioles have a 4-0 lead. Wondered why you were so happy. We've been promised pizza between games.
Yes, we were.
I don't know if it'll be delivered, but we've been promised it. It's enough to get me going. That and La Dolce Vita. Mike Flanagan, Alex Flanagan.
The honey.
Winning honey with some tea.
2-1 on Napoli. Foul tip held by Wieters. And 2-2.
Well, this guy's a home run guy. I mean, he's always been able to do that. And a guy that you could plug in at DH, he can catch, probably be catching the second game. Today playing first base. Big time power.
Little low ball 3. Well, Napoli had an interesting offseason. In January, he was traded from the Angels to Toronto as one of the key players in the Vernon Wells trade, and he was only in the Jays organization for 4 days. They turned around and traded him to Texas, and just inside, ball 4. So there's the first base runner allowed by Zach Britton. Napoli a leadoff walk.
Well, didn't want to do that, obviously. It's a big obvious. And this got presented 3 more runs, and of course the Rangers are looking any way to crawl back into this game.
Your Torrealba, Jim mentioned his first year with the Rangers. 32-year-old Venezuelan has been around. The Rangers now his 5th major league club. Ron Washington likes veterans, in particular behind the plate.
Well, he called Mr. Torrealba a godsend because he can catch and he can block balls and he could call a good game. And he comes out of the San Diego organization where he was last year, where they had the best pitching in the National League. Big ballpark right there. Good breaking ball right there underneath the strike zone. Boy, you'd like to turn a double play. See if we can get that sinker working and have some quick innings.
Skied to right, playable for Markakis. Nick's got it for the out and 1 away. You know, you were talking about the home run potential of Texas. Markakis hit one out in this game for a 1-0 lead. Now 4-0 O's. They are a different club, however, away from Arlington. And you look back last year to their pennant year. They hit 93 home runs at home, 69 on the road, 81 games each place. So the confines of Rangers ballpark certainly conducive to hitting, and they hit. I mean, to their credit, they
hit better, about almost 30 points better, and they pitch better, which is a big credit to Mike Maddox. I mean, their ERA went down about a run in almost a quarter the first year. Last year, about a half a run since he's taken over his pitching staff. Ron Washington said, the one thing when I started to manage, I didn't know anything about pitching other than how to hit it, because that's what I was. But with Maddox, he said I can trust him. But on the road, entirely different ball club. And that's really the big challenge for him, because they were 51-30 at home, 39-42 on the road. So again, I mean, this is a club that obviously has a lot of experience. They have experience now postseason, all the way to the World Series, where they lost in 5 games. So how do you make yourself even better? You start winning on the road.
2-0 on Bourbon. Texas center fielder. There's a strike. 2-1. Well, one of the numbers that you always point to is how many runs per game are you scoring? They're a full run less per game on the road than they were at home last year.
And then when your ERA goes up a half a run, or almost 3/4 of a run, that's why they were under 500. So they have to change that.
Shot foul the other way. 2-2 on Bourbon, the Texas center fielder. Now 25 years old in his 3rd season.
Well, Ron Washington was talking. He said, listen, we know how good a center fielder Josh Hamilton is. We want to keep him healthy. We want to find out if Bourbon can play. So he's going to get an opportunity early on. I mean, you could put Murphy in left. We'll probably see him in the outfield in the second game. Bourbon could be on the bench or in the minor leagues.
And Bourbon down on strikes.
Well, the
so after falling behind 2-0, he comes back to get him.
Well, there's your sinker. Watch the bottom drop out of this pitch, and this is what they were raving about. Low target, start in the middle of the plate, let the natural sink do its magic.
So on this cool afternoon, Britton is strong.
That's a big out. Obviously with Kinsler, you know what you were mentioning, he hit home runs in his first 2 games, well, actually 3 games, but did it in his first 2 at bats. He walked in the 3rd game and then hit another home run.
He's got 5 hits on the year, and 4 of those hits are extra base hits. He's got 3 home runs and a double.
Well, he, along with a lot of help, Ron Washington said when he first came up, because you know he can run, he's powerful, wasn't a great defensive player. He said, give him 5 years, and he'll be as good as any other second baseman. And in Ron's estimation, this guy can play with anybody when you start talking about second baseman. The key for him is to stay healthy, as it is for all players.
Texas is 6-0. They are the lone undefeated team remaining in the major leagues. There's a strike. 1-2 the count. The Orioles at 5-1 are the lone team with 1 loss in the major leagues. Every other team has at least 2 losses. So this is a good weekend matchup early on. Interesting start for the Orioles schedule, and so far so good. The defending AL East champion Tampa last weekend, that was a sweep. Contenders in the Central, the Tigers, they got 2 out of 3. And now taking on the reigning American League champions, the Rangers, in a 3-game series.
Well, you start playing the big boys, and then they'll go to New York, or shall I say we, because I'm going on that trip. Cleveland, who was
first place,
swept the Red Sox, and then the Twins come in, the Yankees and the Red Sox, and then the White Sox. Leading the world in runs. So, well, you get to find out early what you're made out of. This club's prepared. The only key for the Orioles is just trying to stay healthy and get healthy.
Man at first, 1-2 with 2 down on Kinsler. And a called strike 3 inside corner at the knees. Kinsler doesn't agree as Britton gets the strikeout. Back-to-back Ks end the inning, a walk and 1 left. Zach Britton in control at a 4-0 Orioles lead. Frostbrewed Coors Light.
Yeah, the Orioles are going to get a 1-0 lead. Kobe Lewis tried to, I don't know if he tried to cut it in, but tried to get it up and in, and Nick says, and then hit a singeing line drive to make it 1-0. Reynolds with a 3-run home run. They add another 3 in the second. Could get me to pitch down and away right there. Come up and in, and the guy takes you deep. I think I prefer singles to left.
Breaking ball outside. So Nick now 7 for his first 21. You love those early season averages. He gained 33 points with 1 base hit in the first inning. And Lewis misses for ball 2. Lewis last year career high 12 wins. He went 12-13. A losing record despite a very good ERA. 3.72 in that ballpark. That's really good.
Yeah, he was 6-9 on the road, but again, did not get a lot of run support. He either got one or none in 8 of his 18 road starts. Hard to win.
And Nick takes a strike, 3-1. And a high fly ball to right. He got into this one. In fact, Kinsler's going to back up and put it away for the out, one away. Well, it's all about what do you do and how do they support you?
Well, we always talk about, I guess in a perfect world, not only will you pitch well, and you can see very low ERAs with the exception of Scott Feldman, but look at C.J. Wilson. He had the lowest ERA of any of their starters, but he also got over 6 runs a game. Tommy Hunter, low ERA, but got a ton of runs. So the only guy that didn't is Colby Lewis. So again, that's how you see it. One guy at 13-4. You have this guy who pitched just as well, 12-13, even though again in the postseason 3-0. So this guy's not going to go away. I mean, you talk to me about, do you think that extra day because of the rainout's going to affect Zach Britton? Well, Colby Lewis is a control guy. He's got to hit his spots. Doesn't mean, I don't mean that in any negative way at all. It's just that's the type of pitcher is. He cuts it a little bit, turns it over. You saw the big curveball. So if he gets comfortable and all of a sudden his mission is with his offense, hey, shut him out for 3 innings and take your chances. And that's what he's going to try to do.
And lead down on strikes. And 2 away in the 3rd inning. Well, yesterday before the rainout, Vladimir Guerrero was able to pick up some nice hardware. Yep, there it is, his American League Championship ring as a member last year of the Texas Rangers. Mark Connor, Wayne Kirby, also in the Texas organization last year. So they all get their American League Championship rings. And believe me, that's what it's all about. It's getting that as part of a championship team.
And we never gave those out here.
Really?
We made the mistake of winning our first World Series. So once we didn't win, you're not getting anything. We really never ever got any rings. If you won a World Series, I mean, I was in 6 of them. We got 3 World Series rings, but no championship rings of winning your division.
Oh, I see what you mean. So for the pennant, you didn't get a
Nothing.
ring. Gotcha.
Well, I got money.
Line drive for Vladdy as he hit it right through the shift between Kinsler and Andrews. So he's on with a 2-out single.
Yeah, those little sliders, cutters, whatever you want to call them, both of the balls by Vlad hit hard tonight. But one right at Andrus and this one into left field.
Now celebrate the exciting 2011 season in Birdland. Become an Orioles partial season plan holder. Enjoy a full list of orange carpet benefits, including big savings on the cost of single game tickets, added convenience, special plan holder only perks, VIP treatment, and more. For all the information, 8888 for a bird, or just go online, Orioles.com/season. And Luke Scott looks at a bender in there for a strike.
Yeah, just add and subtract. That's what Colby Lewis is trying to do to Luke Scott. They've got a breaking ball, off-speed pitch up in the zone, and he singled his last time up to start that 3-run inning.
And a fastball by him. And Luke down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Colby Lewis out of Bakersfield, California, facing a Floridian, Luke Scott, via Oklahoma State. And in the dirt, knocked down by Torrealba. Trying to go to second is Vladimir, and he will get there.
Thundering into second.
Outstanding jump by Vladimir Guerrero. As soon as that ball bounced, he read it and he took off.
Well, I'll tell you, you've got a great angle. Look at it right here. Just your bouncing lead, just anticipating exactly what happened. And we talk about this all the time. I mean, this is what you're supposed to do. You know, you get your secondary lead, your primary lead, and then go if the ball's in the dirt. So easily into scoring position. And that puts more pressure on Colby Lewis. Already trails by 4.
1-2 on Scott with 2 down. And a roller up the first base side. That'll stay foul as Napoli plays it in foul territory.
And they really don't play as we take a look at opponent averages. That's the one thing when you looked at his numbers with runners and scoring. And look at that low number. You know, I was checking it out. Nolan Ryan, their team president and CEO, his lifetime opposing average with runners in scoring position was .213. for your whole career.
That's how you win 324 games.
Yeah. Not 1 year, for your career.
Well, all those strikeouts, if they can't put it in play, bad things can't happen. 1-2 is in the dirt. Good eye by Scott. And Vladdy stays at second base. Here's what we were talking about with his defense.
Yep. Well, just imagine if Vladimir Guerrero was on third, how important that would have been. But that's what you have to trust. And we saw Alex Avila from the Tigers really struggling. So some guys afraid to throw it in the ground, even though he's supposed to be a very good defensive catcher. And laid off it. Nice eye by Luke Scott. Wanted him to chase that pitch.
So Luke was down, no balls and 2 strikes, and he has worked the count full to 3-2.
Well, the advantage, because they don't really play Luke Scott that deep, even though he's got a lot of power. With 2 strikes, Vladimir Guerrero's going on contact. You can see Bourbon not deep hardly at all.
And it's high, ball 4. Patient, good at bat by Luke Scott. He didn't chase those pitchers' pitches that bounced.
And really what sets up that walk is the wild pitch. Because, and I've been there, where you're trailing, well, maybe it's not 4-0, but you're trailing by a couple of runs, in this case 4 runs, and you get another guy in scoring position, and then you find yourself feeling, you know what, I have to get this guy out. I got to be perfect. And then the pitch count goes up, and with 1 swing, the Orioles could be ahead 7-0. All you got to do is, he's made 2 mistakes, not really 1 mistake, and that was the one to Reynolds. Tried to go up and in on Markakis. He turned on it for the other home run. But the guy at the plate now with 1 swing can do a lot of damage.
Adam Jones in that number 6 spot. There's 2 on and 2 down. Good breaking ball.
Well, it's a good breaking ball because Adam chases it. It's a ball. Again, you can see, I mean, this is a pitcher's pitch. And the good news for Adam, he didn't put that ball in play, because that's a quality pitcher's pitch.
Here's the 0-1. It's off the plate outside. A ball and a strike.
And the good hitters, they force you to work a little deeper into the count because you're a little more comfortable. And we saw Adam do that a lot last year. He's going to take that next gigantic step when he waits deeper into the count to get his pitch.
Swing and a miss.
Because I'm not sure he's going to do that watching Vladimir Guerrero, because he has a totally different, distinctive style. Here's another breaking ball and a good one. Just a little slider. And the slider looks like a fastball, and just from righty to righty slides down and away when thrown properly.
Well, 1-2 with 2 down as Lewis tries to get out of the inning. Good eye on the fastball. It's off the plate. 2-2. Adam reached on an error his first at bat. On the tapper out in front of the plate, he hustled down the line, and the error charged to Napoli, the first baseman. There's Guerrero at second. Scott is at first with 2 down.
Well, there's a nice adjustment. How many times did we see Adam Jones on his way to hitting 284 last year, in his 3rd year with the Orioles, foul that kind of pitch off or serve it into right field? I mean, that's one of the adjustments he made last year. Average way up. Stayed healthy all year for the first time.
You see the outfielder shading him towards right field. Bourbon over towards the gap. And he lays off speed pitch, running the count full. And here's a big break for the Orioles. Guerrero and Scott will be off with the pitch, so they get a head start. Ron Washington, Buck Showalter looking on. Reynolds waits on deck. 3-2 with 2 down on Jones. The runners go. Line drive and a base hit to center field. Guerrero around third. He will score. Throw goes towards third base. It is cut off by Andrews. So Adam Jones with a 2-out RBI single. And the Orioles lead is now 5-0.
Well, there's your great adjustment by hitter. Watch this slider. This one's not a good one. And he is all over it. And you could see that ball just stays up enough. We talked about the fact with 2 outs, he'll be running on contact. 3-2, going on the pitch, easily scores on a ball hit pretty firmly up the middle. And I hadn't seen this very much. Mike Maddox almost beat him to the mound because Kobe Lewis had to go back up home plate. So he's out there to have a little conference with him. And the Orioles expand their lead to 5-0.
So Adam Jones picks up the RBI, his 4th on the year. Mark Reynolds coming up, and here's his at-bat in the first inning. A 3-run home run to left field that gave the Orioles at the time a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, Ron Washington, the skipper of the Rangers, talking about yesterday. He said, we're well aware how good a high ball hitter he is, and when you get and stay up in the zone in the middle of the plate, you can hit him as far as anybody, and he did.
Well, Reynolds will bat with runners at first and third. And a look to third, look to first. Jones wasn't going. So the Orioles 5 runs on the board in their first 3 at-bats. And this rally started with 2 outs and nobody on. And Reynolds fouls it back. Of course, last year the Orioles were 40-16 when scoring 5 runs or more.
That'll work.
It's a winning percentage of .714.
Let's see, and you had 3 teams in the American League that did that last year. They were all in the American League East. Tampa had 5. 5.1 was the Red Sox, and the Yankees about 5.3.
Well, to put it in perspective, the last 2 playoff teams for the Orioles, 96 and 97, the 96 team had all those home runs, including Brady's 50. That team averaged 5.8 per game. And the 97 team, which had real good pitching, averaged exactly 5. Last year, the Orioles averaged 3.8.
Yeah, when they got hot, it went up to about, what, 4.2 runs a game over the last 2 months. Of course, the ERA came down a run and a half, which certainly helped.
Well, instead of losing those games 5-4, you might win them 5-4. It's a big difference. Meantime, 0-2 on Reynolds. Runners on the corners and 2 down. Another throw to first, and Jones is back.
Hey, Florida, this is Mark.
Charles. Only 7 steals last year. But again, when you look over, you see him play the outfield, you know he's got good speed.
Hey, Florida.
Fouls it off.
Hey,
Amazing thing about Mark Reynolds is that to this point in the season, and it is early, through 6+ games, he's 5 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Came in 4 for 5. That home run was just another notch on his belt as far as cutting down your swing and making contact.
Lays off the high pitch, 1-2.
Yeah, a little extra right there, hardest, at least velocity wise, 93.
Kobe Lewis, he's been out there a long time. And down and away. Back-to-back innings now, Jim. The Orioles have sent 6 men to the plate.
Well, you made a good point. It all started with Guerrero just taking a slider and hitting it through the shift, so to speak, into left field. And then Luke Scott, then he wild pitched in the second, so he pitched to Scott carefully, walked him, and Jones hit a very good breaking ball into center for another run.
Jones runs, and it's a called strike 3. Reynolds doesn't like the call of Marty Foster, but the inning is over. Orioles add a run on the RBI hit by Adam Jones. We played 3 at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. The Birds with a 5-0 lead on the Rangers. brought to you by Blimpie, America's Sub Shop. 5-0 Orioles on 5 base hits. Colby Lewis has also walked a batter, and the Orioles had a base runner reach on an error who scored, and Zach Britton, meantime, has now been given a 5-run lead. You know, you were talking about the extra day off, or more, I asked you about the extra day off, and I recall when Scott Erickson was here in his prime as an Oriole, sinker ball pitcher. In fact, he only had 2 pitches, either the sank or the slider. He didn't like the extra rest because he felt like he was too strong and the ball wouldn't move as much.
Right, but he had more experience and more options to think about what was going on. Britton, for a rookie, first of all, you're happy you're here. Number 2, he threw a couple pitches at 96 today. So who needs a sinker? I mean, he really does need it over the course of his career. But it's not like he doesn't have any other options, and we saw that down in Tampa Bay. I mean, I saw him in spring training. I didn't realize he had that good a changeup, but he made an adjustment with the pitching coach, Mark Connor. And all of a sudden, the changeup became maybe equal with his slider.
Well, the scouting report off of last year was that the fastball was there, the sinker was there, secondary pitches developing.
Well, they developed. That's what spring training's for.
That's exactly right.
That's what pitching coaches are for. And then you go out there and you try to work on it.
Andrews takes it low, so 2-2. Andrews, Hamilton, Beltre here in the 4th. Britton, 23 years old, 37 minor league wins. And he earned his way to the big leagues. Just inside ball 3. Pitched in 105 minor league games. Made 103 minor league starts and threw 538 in the 3rd innings.
I mean, his first year in Bluefield, 11 starts, didn't even win a game.
Yeah, ball 4. So a leadoff walk for a 2nd consecutive inning. Fans, all season the Orioles schedule is packed with fun giveaways and special events that you don't want to miss. Mark your calendars now. A couple of big bobblehead days coming up. Buck Showalter Bobblehead Night presented by AT&T on June 25th. And make your plans for Brian Mattis Bobblehead Night on August 6th. For a full list of promotions, 888-848-BIRD, or get online at Orioles.com. So he got ahead of Andrews, couldn't put him away, and here's Hamilton.
Well, I think what he's going to find, and I certainly did, had that kind of stuff where you don't have to be perfect. You trust your stuff. You throw strikes. And sometimes, especially when you look at the scoreboard, and again, it's easier to talk about it than do it when this is your 2nd major league start. The scoreboard tells you how you have to pitch. And you have to give in to the hitter a little bit early. And the last thing, and of course I did this on many occasions, you get yourself a lead, but you go out there going, well, I'm going to attack the strike zone, I'm going to attack the hitters, and then you end up walking somebody. But you hope your stuff is good enough, even if the reigning MVP of the American League's up at the plate, that you can be able to get him out.
Hamilton grounded out his first at bat. There's a bouncer towards Roberts at 2nd. He'll go to 2nd for the force there. Back to first, won't be in time. Hamilton runs too well, and the ball not hit that hard. But the leadoff man is retired, 1 away.
Yeah, another good pitch. Quality pitch, and you get yourself an out. And Hamilton unable to get that ball into right field. Looked like he was trying to maybe hook one by Roberts and Derek Lee. And again, incredible speed by Josh Hamilton. If you're Brian Roberts, you know you can't turn him. Just get the lead runner, which is exactly what they do.
That'll bring up Adrian Beltre, who is now the Texas cleanup batter. Just missing inside, 1-0. Beltre now 32 years old. He flied out his first at bat. He spent 7 years with the Dodgers, 5 years in Seattle. Then last year went to the Red Sox on a 1-year deal, hoping to have a big year to parlay it into a multi-year deal, and he did exactly that. 28 home runs for Boston last year. Foul off his foot on this cool day. That hurts. He had the huge year with the Dodgers in his final season. Led the National League with 48 home runs that year, and Seattle gave him a 5-year contract.
Yeah, a little more difficult place to hit up in Seattle. Pitcher's ballpark. Also some injuries. And to have shoulder surgery. But boy, you're right about coming back last year. The Vengeance fit very nicely into that lineup, even though the Red Sox had all kinds of injuries in 2010.
Ball and a strike on him. In the dirt, nice scoop. The Rangers gave Beltre a 5-year, $80 million contract, and there's also an option year in there in 2016.
Well, they got to the big leagues when he was 19, coming up with the Dodgers.
Ball 3, lays off the sinker.
In fact, he had a birthday on what? The 7th, Friday? Or actually make it Thursday? Turned 32. 12 years in the big leagues, and you're only 32 years old.
3-1 pitch, pop foul. First base side, Lee giving it a chase, and he won't get there. Bounces on the tarpaulin. Now, there are some wonders about Beltre because of his track record. He had the huge year in his walk year in L.A. As you say, didn't really do much in Seattle. Big ballpark there. Last year on a 1-year deal, playing for a contract, had a big year. Now he's got some comfort again. He's got a 5-year deal and an option. So what will he do this year? Three and two the count. Hamilton at first does not run, and it's fouled back.
Yeah, where the Dodgers goes from 23 home runs and 80 RBIs to 48 and 121. It's a pretty big jump.
And Seattle gave him 5 years and $64 million following that
and
year.
Then he goes to 19 home runs the next year. Average drops from 334 to 255.
Hardy ball toward short, could be two. Esturas, Roberts one, back to first. There's a double play, and the inning is over. So the leadoff walk and none left. Zach Britton gets the twin killing. 5-0 O's. Our congratulations to Carolyn Jones of Baltimore. She has just won $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery double play contest, and here's how you get out of an inning.
Well, it certainly is, and again, and this is a close game. Josh Hamilton's probably, because the count's 3-2, running, but because it's 5-0 Orioles, he's not running on the pitch, so it's an easy double play for the Orioles. I guess easy in the sense once Zach Britton throws a strike on the 3-2 pitch to Beltre. For the Rangers, trying to get back in the game, just didn't happen in the fourth.
So Britton has allowed a couple of base runners on walks and no runs through 4. Here's Wieters to lead off. Esturas and Roberts will follow. And break the ball down and in. 1-0 on Matt. Matt 2 out of 11 on the homestand. And he takes a strike. We expect in the second game today, Jake Fox will get his first game start of the year. And that worked out nicely because Texas sending a left-handed pitcher in the nightcap, so Jake can get in there and get some at-bats. As Wieters pops it up, the shortstop Andrews backing up. One away in the Oriole fourth. Well, time now for our AT&T Mobility Trivia question.
Goody.
Let's see if we can get stumped again. The Orioles and the Rangers hold the record for most grand slams in a game. Who hit the grand slams?
We get a year?
We were given a clue. 1986.
1986.
Let's see. I'm going to say.
Well,
you got to say Cal. Right?
Juan Gonzalez.
How about
Eddie Murray was playing,
and he liked the grand.
So what was the question again? How many?
How many and by who?
Well, how many?
Either way, it's tough.
In a game, one game.
One game. And a strike three called, so Escuris is down on strikes and 2 away. That is strikeout number 3.
Well, I'll tell you about Lewis. Just, you know, I mean, he's a pitcher, and of course the ball's not on the plate. But you know, and Mark Reynolds will tell you about that. Got called out last inning then when that ball was a little bit outside the zone. C.J. Wilson talking on the right, 15-game winner, already 1-0 this year. Talking to his pitching coach, Mike Maddox.
Here, Brian Roberts, 0 for 2. He was flied out and grounded out.
Could there have been more than 3 hits? I got to go.
I'm going to say Cal. You're going to say Eddie.
Well, no, I'm just saying Eddie was playing for.
All right. Well, are you saying him, or you just mentioned his name?
No, I'm just throwing out names. I'm not coming.
Well, you're supposed to help me with this.
I don't want to embarrass myself until I have to.
Well, I lose every night anyway. It doesn't matter.
Juan Gonzalez, was he playing?
How about Ruben Sierra? I think he might have been. Was he up by then?
Well, he did play for him.
Right.
And did hit a lot of home runs.
Well, not a lot of looks. This ball tapped towards the middle and caught by Andrews on a dive. Robs a base hit from Brian Roberts. More on trivia when we come back. Meantime, Andrews with a Gold Glove play, and the Orioles have a 5-0 lead.
After 4, Zach Britton, second major league start against the undefeated Rangers. So they get him a lot of runs early, yet to give up a hit, a couple of strikeouts. There you go, with a couple of walks to lead off innings, something he didn't want to do, but did get the double play to end last inning. So he will try to into the heart of the lineup right here, try to maintain the shutout.
Rocco Young leads off, and he takes strike 1. Nelson Cruz, Mike Napoli follow. Now back quickly 0-2. Britton has thrown 6 ground balls for outs that have accounted for 7 outs because of the double play. It's already double what he threw in these 6 innings in Tampa. He had 4 ground outs, 3 fly outs in that game Sunday. So he's got 7 outs now on the ground balls where he had 4 the other day.
Well, Mark Connor and Rick Adair, pitching coach and bullpen coach, both accomplished Major League pitching coaches, have said, hey, throw a lot of strikes.
Here's another ground ball. Cesar throws deep in the hole. Gets it across to get Michael Young for the out. 1 away in the 5th inning. All right. Time for the answer to the trivia question.
Pudge Rodriguez.
The Orioles and Rangers hold a record for most grand slams in a game. Who hit them? I'm saying Cal's one of them.
Oh, nobody even close. Jim Dwyer.
Larry Sheets and Toby Harrah. And the Rangers won that pitching duel 13-11. So when Larry Sheets is at home yelling at his TV, it was me.
Well, yeah, I think 86. I think that might have been the year the Orioles hit about 209 home runs as a team, which is a ton of home runs, and actually threw more. Gave up 215, something like that.
Cruz grounded out his first at bat.
Well, going back to that thought, you have 2 depth pitching coaches and Mark Connor and Rick Adair that have encouraged, and this is a perfect candidate with great stuff, to throw strike 1. Rick Adair was telling right there, and there's that, I don't know if it's a breaking ball or a changeup, but it's diving. Rick Adair said against the Tigers, they faced 116 hitters through 72 first pitch strikes, gave up 2 hits. Now, that's a pretty encouraging number to try to get you to say, hey, trust your strike, throw strike 1.
Yeah, and there's a base hit to right field, and there's the first hit allowed by Britton. So Cruz protecting with 2 strikes. Good job of hitting there. He just went with it, and he pokes it through the hole for a 1-out single.
Well, this is why Nelson Cruz, I mean, he can defend, he can steal, he's big and strong. That change-up speed, and right there, that ball just stays up. Boy, great camera angle right there to show you. Maybe down a little bit, wouldn't hit it as well. Pretty good at bat for the first hit by the Rangers. And what it does, it gets a home run guy to the plate.
Mike Napoli looks at one down and in. Napoli walked his first at bat. This is his 4th start in this, the Rangers' 7th game. Cruz, you see a small lead at first, held there by Derek Lee. And there's a strike at the knees. One and one the count, 1 on and 1 out. You know, now that we've successfully, well, not successfully answered the question, I can look. Juan Gonzalez was your pick. He wasn't even on that team.
Well, I didn't say that I was right. Usually not.
And
we weren't even close, though.
No, we weren't.
We were not. I mean,
Odeby McDowell was the center fielder.
We weren't even west of the.
Pete Incaviglia and Gary Ward. That was the outfield. I had no shot.
Well, we usually don't.
I got half of one right the other night.
Well, I tell you what,
but that doesn't count, right?
The trivia question is not good for your self-image. I mean, if you really want to destroy your self-image, just got to keep doing this. Just walk out of the booth, you know, going, I'm not going to have anything to do with that. The only way I could answer one of those, if it was actually that I
about you,
my age. No, just that I gave them the question.
Well, that's not fair, though.
Well, no, I'm not saying it's fair. I just want to get one right.
Well, you just want to get one right so I don't have the answer. So you're going to slip that in. I'm going to be very suspicious tomorrow.
Oh, I'm not going to.
You're going to get here early for the production meeting.
I'm
slip
above
in the
that.
Question. 2-2 is hit towards second base. Roberts is there to his tourist. There's one. Back to first. And there's 2. He got the foot back down. Derek Lee, outstanding footwork at first, and that erases the base runner. Congratulations to Carolyn Jones, another $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery. As she has won another $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery double play contest. That one going Roberts to Asturis and back to Derek Lee with that good footwork, getting it down. 5-0 Orioles as we head to the bottom of the fifth. Jim Hunter and Jim Palmer, just the first of two, so we hope you're settling in and enjoying Orioles baseball. And how about Zach Britton? Second major league start. It looks like he's been out there for 10 years.
Yeah, other than the leadoff walks with a 5-0 lead in a couple of those innings, but he's really pitched well. Great stuff this afternoon. Enough strikes to be effective, and when he needed big outs, he's not only been able to get them, but he's been able to throw strikes. So, again, we talk about a lot of times young pitchers will come to the big leagues and think they have to do more than they really need to do. With his stuff, if he throws strikes and he's got 3-4 pitches, and they get him 5 runs. I mean, this is like you could not draw it up any better than this afternoon.
Well, you mentioned the 5 runs, and I've heard you talk about it so many times. Not that it's easy to pitch anyway, but when you're able to get that big early lead, it really changes everything, because then all you have to do is you go out there and you attack the hitters.
Well, which is what they want them to do in the first place, and I think that's the point they made very evident to all their pitchers. And we're going to see this later on in the second game with Jake Arrieta. You got great stuff. Go out there. You can use all your pitches, establish your fastball, and then go from there.
Well, Nick Markakis is leading off for the Orioles as we go to the bottom of the fifth.
And it's not always going to work, but it's going to give you really a foot up on being consistent. And again, the Orioles did add 950 home runs with the new acquisitions. Mark Reynolds in the foreground's already hit one of them.
2-1 is high, ball 3.
And that double play gets you back up to the plate. And I still think that Nick Markakis, number one, he's on a mission. How anybody could criticize the year he had last year is because he didn't hit a lot of home runs. Doesn't really know the game. Kind of a wandering strike zone on occasion from Marty Foster this afternoon. But I think he's going to have a monster year because he just seems more comfortable. Surrounded by a lot of veteran players, and they can play.
Here's a tapper back towards the mound, fielded there by Colby Lewis, who gets it to first and one away. So Markakis is retired for the first out. You can win a maximum access experience here at Camden Yards, and for your chance, just text WIN to 29292. Message and data rates may apply. WIN to 29292. Here's Derek Lee. I was talking to a scout the other day before the Thursday Tiger game, as the Orioles went into that rubber game and wanted to improve to 5-1, as Derek Lee hits it to center field. Bourbon is there, and he has it for the second out. And I asked him what his impressions were of the Orioles lineup. He had been on the entire homestand, and he said, well, for one thing, Markakis has protection. And if you think back to last year, along the lines of what you were saying, what would he get? Maybe a pitch in at bat, if that? Because other teams just said, we're not going to pitch to him. Let somebody else beat us.
Well, what they would do is they would pitch on their terms. Not that every pitcher can do that. They'd just pitch him away, let him hit the ball that way. Did get 45 doubles. It's very hard because he doesn't really drive the ball to left field every once in a while. And he would just take his singles and doubles.
And Vladdy, a big bouncer to first. Napoli gloves, and he'll go to the bag, and that retires the side as the Orioles go 3 up, 3 down. Zach Britton going back to the mound with the lead. Now it's time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam, and we have several enthusiastic fans here at Camden Yards for today's game. And why not 2011 Coors Light Freeze Cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Wow, that's not exactly what I had in mind, but remember we were out in San Francisco last year. They had Halloween night in June or whatever it was. You don't have to give those people any reason to dress up, but what a night. What, 2 teams with orange and black? Not the case today with the Rangers in town. Nice little start through 5 for Zach Britton. Yeah, strike 1, first out of the inning. Boy, that number usually 40% of the time, 48% of the time they score. If the first guy gets on, it drops to 15%, and you get the first batter out.
This one lying towards the gap. Off the bat of Torrealba. That one gets down and gets all the way to the wall. Adam Jones will play it back in. And there's a leadoff double by Yorvit Torrealba. So the number 8 batter in the lineup gets on. That is only the second base hit off Britton.
Yeah, you're going to check out where it is. It's right down the middle, and he just turns on it, hits it up the gap. Boy, he did a nice job with San Diego. Again, Ron Washington said we get a guy that can swing the bat, not a home run hitter. But they almost won 60% of the games that he caught last year.
And here's the number 9 batter, Julio Borbon.
And you can see they are taking the bunt away. Borbon with very good speed. So Lee's going to play about even with the bag. You can see Mark Reynolds over at third.
Third time in the last 4 innings, leadoff man has reached. Straight back, maybe caught a piece of the shin guard of Matt Wieters.
Hey, you don't want to play too close. Again, you have a 5-0 lead, leadoff double. Lee now moves back a step. He wants to anticipate the bunt in case he drags one, but you don't want that high hopper going over your head into right field, setting up a big inning. As you mentioned, you get the number 9 hitter up there, right back for the 3rd time into the heart of the order.
0-1 swung on, foul tip held by Wieters. No balls and 2 strikes.
You know, Zach Britton is no different than any of us who ever pitched. Right there, fastball right down the middle to Torrealba, double. At 91, 96, great life, up and in, swing and a miss.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Here's a slow tapper towards second base. Roberts will have to hurry. And just in time to get Borbon.
Yeah, he's the type of player, Jim, that you have to cheat a step or so. Not the type of hitter, obviously, as Ichiro up in Seattle, but you don't want the ball to be a base hit in front of you. So nice play by Brian Roberts. The quick exchange right here. And it helps to have a guy that's about, what, 6'5", almost 6'6" at first with long arms. Nice big stride from Derek Lee.
Torrealba at third now with one down. With a 5-0 lead, Orioles play the infield back for Ian Kinsler. Well, Bourbon, of course, trying to get on base, but at least with that out, he did his job and advanced the runner.
They do, and you don't want to get ahead of yourself if you're Zach Britton. You know, obviously, you got to shut out. Nobody likes to give up runs, but you would give up a run to get an out here. So the worst thing to happen is that I want to maintain the shutout. You walk Kinsler, and all of a sudden, a couple of hitters from now, they have the potential tying run to the plate. And that's an important thing for a young guy. That's where Matt Wieters has done such a terrific job. And just say, hey, come on, let's go. Let's focus. Let's get it out here.
2-0 on Kinsler. Lined right to Derek Lee. He's got it for the out. That may have been the hardest hit ball of the game, but right to Derek Lee and 2 down.
Well, that's exactly the way you want. If you're Thad Bosley, the hitting instructor, for a guy like Kinsler to attack the ball. Look at this BB. I mean, he's looking to drive the ball. He's not thinking home run. He's thinking, I'm going to need to get on base, and then Zach Britton gets a little bit fortunate. Right to Derek Lee for the second out.
Britton will stay from the stretch with Elvis Andrus up. And there's strike one on the outside corner.
And again, you have to be prepared for the bunt. As Elvis, not only can he sing, he can bunt.
22 years old out of Venezuela, already in his third season. Off-speed pitch is low. How about that trade? July 31st, 2007. They got Neftali Feliz, they got Elvis Andrus, and also in that trade was Matt Harrison, who will pitch the second game today of the doubleheader. They also got a minor league player in exchange for Teixeira.
And Jared
Saltalamacchi also came in that trade.
Not catching for the Red Sox.
Ground ball towards short. Right there is Astures. One Venezuelan throws out another, and Britton works out of it. A leadoff double and a man left. 6 complete for Zach Britton, and the Orioles holding on to a 5-0 lead. Well, we invite you to join us coming up the second part of our doubleheader as Jake Arrieta will go to the mound. 20 minutes after the conclusion of this game. In between, we'll get you O's Extra, all presented by Verizon 4G LTE. Matt Harrison will go for the Rangers. We've got all the access you need. And how about the pitching matchup today for the Orioles? A couple of natives of outside of Arlington. Zach Britton out of Weatherford, Texas, and Jake Arrieta out of Plano, Texas. He went to Plano East High School, and Zach Britton to Weatherford High School. And Arrieta Jim then went to Weatherford Junior College before he went to Texas Christian. So they know the area, and they're pitching against their hometown team, the Texas Rangers.
I asked Zach Britton when you moved. He moved from California to Weatherford when he was a sophomore. I said, were you a Rangers fan? He said, no, my dad just decided to move there. I said, it didn't have anything to do with the lack of income tax. He said, well, it might have had something to do with it. But he said, I was a Dodger fan growing up.
Luke Scott takes a strike, and it's 0-2.
So Colby Lewis, again, a couple of home runs. One a 3-run shot and a solo to Markakis, and he's just hanging around.
Well, he's hoping his manager with the doubleheader, right? Save that bullpen.
And his earned run average. And that's a little selfish, but when you give up runs early, you got to pitch for your ERA. Got to stay out there as long as you can, save the bullpen. Of course, the off day certainly helps both teams.
Well, it sure did help the Orioles. You'd rather play, but they had back-to-back short starts by Ferguson, and that's a hit by pitch. And by Tillman.
Run him off the plate, and in doing so, again, just a little bit of a cutter, or maybe just got around a little bit, so it acts like a cutter, but a zoom ball up and in, and just gets the felt. Yep.
And the hip. Or the jersey.
It's a good way to get hit.
So that's why Jimmy Tyler gives them one just a little too big.
50 years in the business.
There you go.
Jimmy Tyler doesn't know what's going on.
Absolutely. He just helped Luke get on base. Way to go, JT. Here's Adam Jones. Outside, 1-0. Adam had a real good at-bat in the third. He reached on an error and scored in the second, and then after falling behind a ball and 2 strikes, he worked the count full and then singled to center field to drive in the 5th run.
Yeah, that was the 4th slider. First 3 were real good. 4th one a little bit more hittable, and he took advantage of it. Right there, he was trying to make it 7-0.
Showalter flashing signs to third base coach John Russell.
And we always talk, you got to be very careful when you're pitching, even if it's the right pitch. If you double up or triple up on a hitter, that last one you throw, if the first 2 were good, is just as good, and that's sometimes hard to do. And we saw that. And then, of course, Adam made a great adjustment and drove in the 5th run. But that's part of the maturity and really the transition from a young hitter, swinger, to a hitter, where you cut your swing down, you look to use the whole field, and that was a perfect example of it.
Two and one on Jones. Scott doesn't run. Swung on and foul back. And out of play goes, so 2-2. Fans, the Junior Orioles Dugout Club, Birdland's best value in family entertainment. Kids 14 and under get tickets to 10 games, an exclusive club hat, membership card, lunch bag, and a subscription to Orioles Kids magazine, and much more. All for just $20. Plus, members get exclusive giveaway items at each game, and family and friends can buy tickets as well, starting as low as $6. To find out more, 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. Two and two on Jones. And again, he fouls it back. Colby Lewis, 25 and 28 in his big league career. This is his 106th game and his 68th start.
Yeah, Mason Tobin. They're young bullpenners. Well, it was good to see Arthur Rhodes, who came over from Cincinnati Reds to the Rangers. He's out in their bullpen.
I went looking for him yesterday, but he wasn't there yet. I'll have to try again tomorrow. Still lives in Baltimore County.
41 years old. And boy, he coming off a great year with the Reds. And then Darren Oliver, long-time veteran.
Scott runs, swing and a miss, throw down to second base, and he is out at second base as Bill Welke made sure Kinsler had the baseball. So a strikeout, throw-out double play as Scott put in motion.
Yeah, strike him out right here. Good slider. There's the good slider. And look at this quick throw. A little snap throw right on the money. Kinsler, and all he's got to do is drop the glove. And almost get spiked.
And that is the first base runner that Texas has caught this year. And here is Mark Reynolds, who has had the big blast in this game. 3-run home run in the second, so with one swing he ties Brian Roberts for the team lead in RBIs. They each now have 8. And that in itself, Jim, another example of the balance of this lineup where your leadoff man and your number 7 hitter are tied for the team lead in ribbies.
Well, it's a good habit to get in if you want to have a lot of RBIs to hit 3-run home runs. That's what Brian has done twice. That's what Mark Reynolds did. Not to mention, he came in 4 for 5 with runners in scoring position.
Trying to do some damage there.
Got chased out of the zone.
The Orioles now have 7 home runs on the year. One off the plate.
Well, I thought Mark Reynolds made a very apropos comment. He said when the Orioles come back and win the game on Thursday, by scoring 9 runs, Jim, he said it's about time we showed that we can win games where we don't have to give up only 1 run.
And Reynolds picks up his second base hit. It's already his 3rd multi-hit game, and he's on with a 2-out single, extending the inning.
Well, Jim Presley, the new Oriole hitting coach, of course, he's been around, a good player in his own right, said, hey, listen, with 2 strikes, just try to cut down your sweet. Just make contact. If you can put it in play, you got a much better chance, and he's got to be really happy there. Got a great pitch to hit, another high slider.
Well, Matt Wieters gets an at-bat.
And again, what it does with 2 outs, and if you're Colby Lewis, you want to go sit down, and it keeps the inning alive. So now all of a sudden, if Wieters hits one up a gap or homers, you got a chance to put more runs on the board.
Towards the gap in right center field, on the runner's Bourbon, and he runs it down. Oh, does he have some speed and covers a lot of ground. Hit batter a hit, and 1 man left will head to the 7th in a 5-0 game.
I think the confidence level that our pitching staff has in the fingers that he puts down is big. I think it really relates to the tempo of the game, the way you make hitters be reactive instead of setting the pace of the game in their corner. So obviously we got, they shake off here and there, and usually you see a little trip to the mound, and sometimes Matt makes them feel like they have input. It's very seldom are they going to go out there and not feel like he's on the same page with them. but he takes a lot of pride in it. He, at a very young age, he's grasped separating offense and defense.
So manager Buck Showalter on the game calling of Matt Wieters, which really has been noticeable early on this year. And Zach Britton, a real good case in point. His first start last week, couldn't find the sinker, so they went to the four-seamer. Today he's got the sinker going. He's got 10 ground ball outs. And Hamilton swings through it, leading off in the seventh, 0-1.
Yeah, I was talking to him the other day before opening day, and I said, it just seems like you're a totally different person, more relaxed, et cetera, et cetera. And he said, I just feel more comfortable. He said, first of all, I'm not on the cover of Sports Illustrated like last year. I'm what, part-time, almost a rookie in a sense. Baseball edition, he's on there. He said, I can understand the scouting reports a little bit better. I know what I need to do physically and emotionally and mentally to play this game at this level.
And Hamilton, that's how you win an MVP. Yeah. 1-2 count. You just slap it through for a base hit and a leadoff single. Baseball fans, Masson has a new show dedicated for you, the fan. That's right, the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report. Every weeknight, 5:30 to 6:30. All the latest news, information about the Birds, Nats, and the rest of Major League Baseball. You'll get some live batting practice look-ins, reports from the field, and roundtable discussions. So join Tom Davis, Phil Wood, Dave Johnson, and Mel Antonin as they discuss the hottest topics in sports and maximum access to your favorite teams. Every Monday through Friday, 5:30 here on Masson. Adrian Beltre now with a man on.
Yeah, they haven't hit a lot of balls hard this afternoon. A couple of double plays. I know that Zach Britton was not happy with that slider. Just didn't quite finish it off. And you mentioned Hamilton. Actually hit .401 against right-handed pitching last year. Incredible number.
Adrian Beltre fouls it back 1-1.
I don't think there's anything wrong with throwing a strike with 2 strikes. You just want to make it a little bit better than he was able to do. Stay out of the middle of the plate, especially to a guy of Josh Hamilton's ability level.
Beltre's 0 for 2. Double play ball. Esters, Roberts, lead 6-4-3, and that erases the base runner. There's the third double play of the game.
Well, when you have great stuff and you have the movement, especially when the ball, we talked about the sinker.
And our congratulations again to Carolyn Jones of Baltimore. She has just won another $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery double play contest.
So there you go, Carolyn.
$3,000 in counting.
So there's that too. That's the sinker. Lost and found. He found it.
So first you got to enter to have a chance to be the person you pick, and then you hope you fall on Zach Britton's day. The sinker ball.
Marietta can throw some 2-seamers. Mattis when he gets back. A number of these guys. Jeremy Guthrie.
Well, the other part of this, with a long day of baseball against a very good hitting team, Zach Britton has already done what Buck Showalter had hoped that he would do, is get him into the 7th inning. He's not away from getting through the 7th inning.
I'm not sure Buck anticipated 5-0 going into the 7th, but that's a nice view when you look out at the scoreboard and maintaining his velocity. What did Buck say? He was good in Tampa, and he can be better.
Caught by Britton. There's a line drive out. So Michael Young retired. What a day for the rookie. So a leadoff hit, but the double play erases the base runner. 7th inning stretch at Camden Yards and a 5-0 Orioles lead. Of this twilight doubleheader here at Camden Yards, Jim Hunter and Jim Palmer, the Hall of Famer here. He's excited. He loves seeing masterful pitching outings, and Zach Britton, all of 23 years old, giving the Orioles one.
Well, I'd only heard about him. I walked into Buck Showalter's office last year, and he had a picture of him pitching in Bowie, and he said, he looks pretty good. Well, he looks even better this afternoon, and again, I mean, this is not just any team. I mean, the Rangers had a couple balls hard. Of course, he just caught the last one. Kinsler lined out, but the 3 double plays, they got him early runs. I mean, really, if you want to script how you want to play the first game of a doubleheader, and the game by no means over, and this is exactly the way Buck Showalter wanted him to go out there, throw a lot of strikes, a couple of walks, and just trust what we all knew, that he has great stuff.
Well, you got to like what he's doing here with the lead. He's attacking the strike zone, pounding it. And, of course, the 3 double plays have helped him out so far. So Buck Showalter, mission accomplished in the first game of this doubleheader as a starter, has gone 7 innings. Meantime, here's Mason Tobin coming on. He's on in relief of Colby Lewis.
Again, one of their youngsters, so we get a chance, at least for the first time, to see him. There are his numbers this year, and that was against the Red Sox.
And there is Zach Britton with the hoodie on to keep that arm warm on the bench. 7 innings. He's allowed 3 hits, no runs, only a couple of strikeouts, but that's okay. He's encouraging Texas to put the ball in play, and they're hitting it at his fielders.
So Tommy John surgery. And Tobin's supposed to have great stuff.
Cesar Asturias leads off, takes ball 1. So Lewis goes 6 innings, 5 runs, 4 earned. Good off-speed pitch there. Four strikeouts and 1 walk, and now Mason Tobin.
Born in Montana, lives in California.
Ground ball towards second, backhanded by Kinsler. And Asturias is retired, 1 away in the Oriole 7th. Oriole Park is the perfect setting for your next group outing. Gather up your family, friends, co-workers, or colleagues and enjoy a fun-filled night of Orioles baseball. Discounted ticket prices for groups as small as 15 or party facilities that fit groups up to 1,000 fans. Camden Yards can make your group outing an experience you'll never forget. For details, 888-848-BIRD or online at Orioles.com/groups. Here's Brian Roberts. First ball swinging, fouls it off. Brian 0 for 3. Back in the lineup. And not missing a game because of the rain out. High fly ball, center field, but Bone's out there. A lot of room. And he covers the ground. He's got it for the out, and 2 quick outs by Mason Tobin.
Yeah, for Brian, he wants to, not that he wants to pull the ball because he's a double machine, but Death Valley out there when he usually hits it to straightaway center field. For so many times, see, I first went to Yankee Stadium when I was about 9. Of course, it was 463 feet to dead center, but that's where you want to pitch if you can. The big part of the ballpark. That same fly ball pull, it's a home run.
Here's Nick Markakis. Nick got the Orioles going in the bottom of the first. Second batter seen by Colby Lewis. He hit a home run.
Pretty good fastball in 94, and we've already seen the changeup. So this was the kid that was drafted by the Angels, and then after the arm surgery was a Rule 5 guy with the Cubs, and the Rangers picked him up for cash considerations. He only had 96 innings in 25 games, 21 starts, mostly at A-ball.
And Markakis to center field, again playable for Bourbon. And he's got it for the out. So Tobin comes on. He gets a 3-up, 3-down inning. We're heading to the 8th. The Orioles with a 5-0 lead.
Highlights: Nick Barkakis, first home run of the year, 1-0 Orioles. And then Mark Reynolds, base hit, error, and a 3-run home run, 4-0. Zach Britton, presented with an early 5-0 lead, has been dealing. Right there, snares the line drive off of Michael Young's bat. So the end of 7-5-0. Rangers with 3 hits. The Orioles with 5 runs, 6 hits, a couple of home runs on the board so far.
And Zach Britton going to work, deals low to Nelson Cruz.
Nobody up in the Oriole bullpen to this point. So 6 innings the first time, into the 8th inning the next time.
Ball 2 as he bounces it in. Cruz 1 out of 2 with a single. Go again, ball 3.
Well, you got to throw 3 for the middle of the plate right here. Most likely they won't go there. Just try to somehow get back into the count.
And it's a strike on the outside corner.
And a lot of times when you relax, your stuff is just about as good. Very few pitchers, and he's just trying to throw a strike without aiming it.
And there's a leadoff walk. There's the 3rd walk allowed by Britton, and all 3 have led off an inning. 6 strikeouts in a win in their big league debuts, going back Oriole pitcher since 1954. And how about each of the last 2 years? Arrieta and Britton joining that list.
Yeah, I was there when Sammy Stewart did it, and I was there when Tom Bemis did it. Charlie Beeman? Not in 56.
You weren't there?
No.
There's Mike Napoli. Takes a strike.
Well, the good news, it's Napoli, power to all fields, but if you can, again, execute your pitches, and we've seen him do it on 3 occasions, and getting 3 double plays. So with Zach Britton, he's, with a good sinker, always 1 pitch away from getting a ground ball.
That pitch high, 1-1. And for the first time today, activity behind him. Jason Birkin now begins to get loose.
Yeah, pitch count right at 100. 1-0-0.
Fouled out of play.
And they're trying to make it 5-2 right there. Mike Napoli. Hey, you look at the Rangers. We talked about the fact, 39 and 42 on the road. The other thing, they were only 5 games over 500 against left-handed pitching last year. It's not a horrible number, but you would like to think that with Beltre and the fact that you get Napoli, that's probably, that number may go up if you can pitch well and defend as they can.
Ground ball towards third. Leno's bobbles it. That cost him 2. He gets it across, and a scoop by Lee on the back end, so they get an out. But the bobble cost him a chance to get 2, and on at second is Nelson Cruz.
Yeah, pretty tailor-made if you can catch it. Oh, great angle right here, right at you. Just maybe a little bit ahead of himself, but he does pick it up. Nice play by Derek Lee on the other end. So right there, get a handle on it. Hurried throw, and then, of course, a plus defender over at first. Going to save a lot of errors.
And Cruz at second with 1 down. Second time today Texas has put a runner as far as second base. Victoria Alba. There's at the plate and he takes high.
Yeah, I think what you watch right here is just, again, for Zach Britton, is he finishing his pitches? Well, you know, a lot of times it's not always your arm that gets tired. You know, maybe your legs just not working a little bit, maybe a little more upright.
There's a bouncer towards short as Torres waits on the hop. And he gets it to first to get Torrealba. And 2 men down in the 8th inning. Well, time now for you to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. And here are the candidates. Nick Markakis, he's got a solo home run. Zach Britton, 7 2/3 of scoreless baseball to this point. And Mark Reynolds, a big 3-run home run in the 2nd inning. Text in your vote now. Have your voice heard. A, B, or C to 51862. Weeder's out to the mound for a chat with Britton. Pretty masterful performance against a very good hitting team. They came in batting .284 with 13 home runs in 6 games and averaging 7 runs a game.
Well, they hit 11 of those home runs in 3 games against the Red Sox. And then don't forget the extra base hits, 32 of them.
Well, Bone towards the hole. That's a base hit. Charging is Scott. Held will be Cruz. And wisely so by Dave Anderson. You're down by 5-0 and 2 down in the inning. You don't chance it.
No, just slaps it. I mean, this is what Julio Bourbone's supposed to do and does. And again, 5 runs down. You're not going anywhere. And you could see how shallow Luke Scott was playing Bourbon in left. And here comes Buck Showalter.
And that'll be it for Zach Britton. Buck has already signaled he wants Perkin. So Zach Britton is 4 outs away from going 2-0 on Zach Britton.
In 2/3 inning, not happy the fact that he had to leave. And I think he's probably happy with his performance, but even when you pitch these type of games, you think, well, if I just done this, or maybe I had been able to get that guy out. But again, they will have Gonzalez get up in the bullpen behind Jason Burkett, who comes in, and there are the numbers for Britton. He was fabulous. Kinsler is going to hit against Birkin. There you go. This season, 3 innings, 6 strikeouts. You know, he lost about 20-25 pounds in the offseason. Came to spring training after torn labrum. Really worked on his shoulder. Head trainer Richie Bancells of the Orioles said you could really tell this guy was in shape. And he will face Ian Kinsler, who, again, it's only a small body of work, 0 for 3 lifetime against him.
The runners on the corners and 2 down. With a 5-0 Oriole lead. Slider for a strike, 0-1. You can see Kinsler fooled. He was up there looking for a fastball, and he saw the break.
Well, I think the scouting reports will tell you that there's been more changeups, something that he established in spring training, because they told him don't use the slider, which was his most effective pitch last year until he hurt his shoulder. But the fastball's also been pretty crisp. You know, 92, 93 miles per hour range. That one in 92. And then, of course, Gonzalez up in the Oriole bullpen because Andrus on deck, and then Josh Hamilton, the reigning MVP in the American League.
Texas has only 2 left-handed batters in the starting lineup today because Zach Britton, the lefty, started. There's the 1-1. It's low, ball 2.
Yeah, I think with this lineup, about the only place they would maybe pinch hit is down at the bottom of the order. Torrey Alba, and of course you got Murphy and Moreland sitting on the bench. Some left-handed power.
A big pitch here for Birkin, 2-1 with runners at first and third and 2 down. And a bouncer towards short as Torres charges, flips to Roberts for the slide at second. Oh, good hustle there by Bourbon. So Zach Britton likes what he sees. He is 3 outs away from a win. 5-0 O's. Telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Well, Zach Britton enjoying a laugh with Matt Wieters on the bench. Maybe I didn't see him shake him off, but maybe as it happened to him, he shook him off, gave up a base hit.
Now we fooled him for 8. There you go. You got to have a sense. I mean, you got to have a catcher that understands you. And I think that's another reason that Matt feels so comfortable, because a lot of these guys he came up through the minor leagues with.
Tobin stays on. Lee Guerrero Scott in the 8th. And it's high 1-0. Ground out, strikeout, fly out for Lee's 0 for 3. to center field for a base hit. They don't miss hangers, do they? There's a base hit to center field.
Nope.
For a leadoff single. Follow the Orioles with the MLB.com At-Bat 2011 app for your iPhone, your iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get scores, stats, highlights, live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, and more. Text At-Bat to 31826 or visit Orioles.com for all the details.
Now, if you're not living in the world of reality, a lot of times you'll make that same pitch or rip one right at somebody, but you better get in touch with the fact that when you make that kind of pitch, it's usually going to get hit hard and it's not going to be caught. Now, that's a little different story there.
Vladdy had a long ball on his mind.
Well, your best fastball, just a little out of the zone against a guy that airs it out.
Guerrero singled in the third, which helped begin a rally and led to a run. And he pops it up. So the breaking ball that time popped up. And Kinsler has it for the out. And one away here in the 8th inning. For every Orioles walk this season, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield will contribute $50 to support the Living Classrooms Foundation. And to date, the Orioles have drawn 16 walks, a total of $800. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Luke Scott now with Lee at first and one down.
Yeah, on base all 3 times this afternoon.
Trying to swing, but he went too far, says Marty Foster.
Yeah, that's that changeup that you talked about when Mr. Tobin came in. Well, Ron Washington's got to be happy. He's got a pitcher that, again, starter in the minor leagues that can give him more than 1 inning. So if you are trailing, I think you'll be playing a lot of doubleheaders, but it's nice to have a guy that can get him out for a couple of innings in case your starter gets in trouble.
That pitch taken low, 1 on the count. Ron Washington's team in the 9th will have Andrews, Hamilton, and Beltre coming up. Trailing at the moment 5-0. All 5 runs scored in the Orioles' first 3 at-bats. Gotta watch that. Derek Lee's got a steal already.
Yeah. He's not going anywhere now, though.
Good eye by Luke. Takes outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, it looked like he had a pretty good read on that changeup. It's a matter of staying back for Luke. Because when he stays back, he uses the whole field incredibly strong.
Two and 1. And it's low, ball 3.
Well, it's a perfect example of a young pitcher that is trying to pitch to the scouting report. A lot of change-ups because that's the book on him. And, of course, he's fallen behind 3-1. We'll see if Luke gets a fastball to hit here.
And it's low, ball 4. So Tobin walks him. And 2 on with 1 down. Well, before today's game, Brad Bergeson optioned to AAA Norfolk. He'll go right into the Tide's rotation to work on his stuff. And Chris Jakabauskas has been called up from Norfolk. He was available for relief in this game. There he is in the bullpen. He's available in relief for the second game, but somebody's got to start tomorrow.
Yep.
And it could be Jakabauskas if the Orioles get through these games.
Well, that's what he did for Norfolk, and it does give you an option. Felix PA is going to come in to run and then get his glove and play defense in the night.
Maddox out for a visit with Tobin.
Yeah, I talked to Brad Bergeson, and again, it's another tough spell for him. I mean, hit for the line drive, hadn't pitched until the other night since March 20th. was all over the place. You try to put a positive spin on it because he is a major league pitcher. He just has to pitch regularly, and he has to sink the ball, something he couldn't do. Certainly didn't have a problem doing that the last 2 months of last year. So, and I think he understands that. It's not easy to do that, though.
Adam Jones, 2 on him, 1 down outside.
And I was trying to relate to him. I got sent to the minor leagues when I hurt my shoulder and couldn't pitch. He can go down there and prove that he is still a very, very good pitcher, and he does so many things well that hopefully that will be the case.
One and 0 on Jones, who has an RBI single in 3 trips. Outside ball 2. The Orioles have been very patient at the plate today. That at bat by Luke Scott. Very patient at bat, taking pitches that just were low or just off the plate.
Well, I think with this offense, and boy, we've seen it over the years, you know, whether it's the Red Sox or the Yankees or the Orioles, as you mentioned, back in '96, '97.
Bouncer, Beltre cuts in front, tags Lee, and over to first in time. That's a double play, as Tim Cheetah at third base said that Beltre did tag Lee. So we'll head to the ninth, 5-0 O's. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. 5-7-0 for the Birds, 0-4-1 for the Rangers. As Felix Pie, after pinch running for Luke Scott, he stays in the game in left field. And Jason Birkin getting set to go to work on Elvis Andrus.
So what, 18 bunts, 53 infield hits to go along with that last year, so you shorten up on them. They need base runners, and the Orioles need 3 outs before they get 5 runs. Simple as that.
And strike 1.
Yeah, I was talking to Jason, and of course, 3 years ago, year before last, was the starter. The record didn't indicate how well he pitched. There's a good slider for strike 2. That's how he got out of the last inning. But he was 6-12. But he has 4 pitches. And again, go back to spring training. You hurt your labrum after having a great first half. They back off the slider. He throws more changeups. It's a good running fastball. Boy, what a difference in 3 years for confidence. Better team. But the one thing, how hard he worked in the offseason was so evident to everybody in the Oriole organization.
0-2 pitch in the dirt. Well, the culture, without a doubt, began to change when Buck Showalter took over. Andy McPhail has said they needed what he brings to an organization, and obviously he was correct because he's turned everything around. And there's the mindset on a bouncer to third. Reynolds charges. And he gets it to first. Andrus retired. And one away in the ninth inning. An update on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. And as you would expect, Zach Britton running away with it. 83% to 10% for Markakis, 7% for Reynolds. Still have time to text in and have your voice heard, A, B, or C, to 51862. And Amber and Rick have the results coming up on O's Extra Postgame. But there's the other part of that as you look at Jeremy Guthrie and Chris Tillman on the bench is you mentioned better team. And what that does is now when you show up, you go out there, you're expecting to win today. And if you don't, it's like, what's going on? We're trailing.
Yeah, well, you expect to win. You never assume you're going to win. And the expectation is based on the fact that you're going to go play the game the right way. I asked Buck yesterday, talking about Buck Showalter, I said, once the game starts, you get a lot of anxiety. He said, no. He said, I got to make decisions, but you let the game play out. And I think that's what good teams do. You know what you have to do. You're prepared. He said that's the key. If you're prepared, you don't do a lot of coaching and managing in the middle of the game. You make decisions if you're a manager, but you've already done that. That's what spring training was about.
Josh Hamilton to left. Pierre was deep, comes in on it, has to play it on a hop. Wow, he was way out there in deep left center field, and Hamilton off the end of the bat serves it for a base hit. And he's got a 2-for-4 game.
Yeah, I worked against the Tigers. He was way over in left center, and Cabrera on opening day rocketed one up the gap right to him. But they're looking for base runners, and they got one. The Orioles are looking for a couple more outs.
Adrian Beltre not only is 0 for 3, he has bounced into 2 double plays. Foul tip held by Wieters on 1.
How about Beltre last year when he was playing with the Red Sox? We saw him hit a couple of home runs and almost seemed like he was down on his back leg. It's the kind of year he had. Dave Magadan, the hitting coach up in Boston. Pretty quick bat, 2010. Good riding fastball. Ron Washington made a good point that Beltre only played in about 10 spring training games, hurt his calf. And right here, he's trying to make it 5-2. But good movement from Jason Birkin.
No balls and 2 strikes on Beltre. 1 out, 1 on. And inside. There's an interesting sequence there with Birkin and Beltre. You know, Beltre's a good fastball hitter. He threw back-to-back fastballs, and he came up empty on each.
But good movement, good velocity, and good location. Out over the middle. This guy, I mean, he's just a good hitter. What impressed me last year is his ability to ping the ball to right field if he got it up and out over the plate. He's not trying to ping anything right here.
Fouls it off straight back on the screen. Young Zach Britton, 23 years old, 2 outs away from beginning his big league career, 2-0. Line to right field. Markakis over and makes the catch. A lunging grab to get it for the out, 2 down.
Now that's what I was talking about, his ability to drive the ball the other way, but there to snare it off the turf is your Gold Glove winner. Well, he should win it. I'm giving him a Gold Glove. Going to get the spray paint out. Pretty nice play right there when you need a couple of more outs, now 1 to win this ball game.
Zach Britton sitting on the bench there with Brian Madison, Chris Tillman. His ERA is now 0.66 with his 7 2/3 scoreless innings today. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Listen to the fans. Let's go O's. Michael Young up. Breaking ball for a strike on 1.
Well, a win in April is as good as one in September, especially when it took them to April 30th last year to win their 5th game, all the way into May to win the 6th game of the year.
Runner goes. Orioles let him go as Hamilton takes second. That will not be a stolen base.
And while they all are just W's in win plus, when you beat the Rangers came in 6-0. They're a team that you got to be proud of if you can beat them, because they got a chance to be that good.
Oriole fans have been craving a winner. They've been craving somebody like Zach Britton to come along. And on this chilly afternoon, they are standing, anticipating the final out. And Birkin throws high, 2-1.
So right here, Jason's going to take a little time. This is something you learn with experience. Take a breath and again get back down in the strike zone. And you would imagine this is one of those slider camps right here. And there it is. Of course, it's easy for me to say that. Mike Young's got to hit it. You just know that he's got that kind of confidence. You know, this is a fastball count. That's what Michael Young's looking for. Stays up a little bit, but he swings right through it.
A lot of enthusiasm in this ballpark. The 2-2, foul back.
Because they always talk in baseball that, and you know this as well as anybody, Jim, it's a game of failure. I mean, here's a kid that won 6-12. He didn't let that deter him from having about as good a first half as you can have last year.
Two and two on Michael Young. Foul back again. Well, Michael Young had 5 consecutive 200-hit seasons. So he's a guy that knows how to make contact.
Yeah, and they play him that way. I mean, he, again, PA way around in left center, and Jones a couple of steps to right field. Markakis pretty much straight away.
Here's the 2-2, and he fouled it off. Just did get a piece.
Well, the one thing, because Mike Young, if you looked at a spray chart, and that's where he hits the ball over the course of a season, you're going to see he hits a lot of ball left center field over. Doesn't mean he can't pull a ball, because he can't. But he lets the ball travel, and all good hitters do that. The deeper it gets, the easier it is to do something with it.
And he struck him out on a slider, and the Orioles get the opener, and Zach Britton improves to 2-0. What a pitching performance by Britton, and Birkin comes on and finishes it off as the Orioles get the win and cool off those red-hot Rangers bats. Our final score in the opener of our doubleheader at Camden Yards, behind Zach Britton's Buck Showalter's Birds beat the Rangers 5-0.